So, on today's video we're going to create our own tier list for every legendary commander in Rise of Kingdoms. Let's go! Hello gamers, it's Wick here and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to have fun distributing all the legendary commanders in Rise of Kingdoms on a tier list. This is meant to be a fun video. A single rating cannot possibly describe all the uses of a commander. Take for example Minamoto. You will be probably using him in the early KVKs on the field, then you will not use him anymore unless you're running barbarian forts or neutral structures. This doesn't mean that he's a trash commander. It just means that we need to find a certain tier for him that gives us an idea of how useful this commander is, all things considered. And every commander is evaluated singularly. If you're searching for something specific, like a guide about open field, garrison rally, I invite you to watch my specific guides. In particular, you might be interested in this one, which you can watch by clicking the card up on the top. Said that, let's have some fun. Before, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. It's 100% free. You can always change your mind later and helps me out more than you think. We'll start in alphabetical order. We have 6 different tiers. S+, S, A, B, C, and D, with S+ being the very best and D being the worst. Edelfled. Right off the bat, a few things on this commander. First, she's literally free. You will be able to max her out in no time, a few months even for who is starting the game now. She's probably the first max legendary commander that a new player is going to have, and it's a great commander, useful in pretty much everything, from barbarians and leveling up your commanders to PvP. No team, however strong this team is, will ever give up to having a bunch of Edelfleds on the field. And considering that and the fact that she's free, I think I'm going to place her in the S+ tier. Yes, maybe it's a bit high for someone, but I'm good with that. Second commander, Alexander the Great. Strong commander, useful in many different pairings, with Quan, with YSG, with Harold, with CJ, with Sun Tzu for early KVKs and Osiris League, with Richard, and even with Tomiris. I think I will place Alexander the Great on the B tier for now. We can always make some more adjustments later on. Amanitori, the anti-Guan for excellence. Everyone is using her to counter the sea of Guan Yus that you find pretty much everywhere, and she's great at it, especially because she cannot be silenced and only another commander has this ability, Attila. She's also undoubtedly one of the best garrisons in the entire game as of now. For me, she's an S tier. Artemisia. She's versatile as well, very tanky, great talent trees, defense and garrison. Great in garrison as well if you don't have a Amanitori, and she can shine in open field with multiple commanders, as primary to Tomiris, to YSG, Nebu, Ramses, and many others. I think I'm gonna place Artemisia in the A tier. Attila, still one of the top choices for city rallying and objective rallying. In open field, it's pretty slow killing, but the reports always look good. For me, all things considered, Attila is and will probably stay in the A tier. Cao Cao, the greatest runner in the game. It will only be outclassed if another cavalry commander with the same talent trees, so peacekeeping, cavalry and mobility combined, with more than 10% cavalry march speed in the skills, will be released in the game in the future. As of now, Cao Cao and Honda Tadakatsu at 5511 is the fastest combo in the entire game. He's also good for other tasks that you probably already know about, and of course in early KVKs. I'm gonna place him in the B tier next to Alexander just because his fighting capabilities are a little bit meh. If I just could go back in time, I would have never hit the expertise button, and probably I would have kept him at 5555 without expertise, because the defense, I think, for this commander, for this specific commander, is much more important than a huge amount of attack. Chandragupta, not excellent in open field, but shines as secondary commander to one of the best rallies in the game, XY and Chandra. Not really useful for other stuff, he has always been a decent support for rallies, for example in the past with William and Attila. I think I'm gonna place Chandragupta in the A tier. Now, Charlemagne. What do we say about this commander? This is what we can classify as a meme commander. The reward for the winners of a past KVK season which was totally not worth the struggle. Undoubtedly the most useless legendary commander for the talent tree he has in the entire game, even more than the Gathering Commanders in my opinion. At least you put some use to the Gathering Commanders. You know what? Let me rename this tier from D to Charlemagne. What do you think, guys? I think the name fits. So, much better. Charlemagne in the Charlemagne tier. Charles Martel, great in the early mid game, still a solid commander in multiple occasions. I think I will rate him with a B. CJ, a great support commander for Alex, Pakal, but mostly Guan Yu. Together with Guan Yu as secondary commander to Guan Yu makes for one of the strongest open field marches in the entire game. I think CJ goes in the S tier. Cleopatra, gathering commanders will always end up in the D tier or Charlemagne tier from now on, because at the end you're already good with epics, Joan of Arc, but even elite commanders and advanced commanders. That's already good for gathering. Please never spend legendary sculptures on gatherers. Constantine, good supporter, better if you have a strong infantry equipment. I think he's good in the B tier, together with Charles Martel. Cyrus, very good open field commander, very good in some rally combinations, for example with Nebu or with Ramses. In the open field, Cyrus Ramses works very good. I think he's between A and B, but still an A commander for me. Edward of Woodstock. Do we really need to speak about him? This commander is still bugged to this day, and even if a ton of content creators and a ton of players have reported it, Lilith still did not fix him. More than that, he becomes useless in the Season of Conquest, but mostly he has very few usable pairings and is not at all versatile. I think Edward is the first one of the C tier. El Cid. Come on, buddy. You're a Cyrus wannabe and you didn't make it. So I think you will end up in the C tier next to your buddy Edward. Frederick I. So if Rise of Kingdoms will manage to revamp this commander in a good way, let's hope that the museum update will not be a complete fail. I am expecting actually good things from Frederick, but so far I am afraid he falls in the C tier together with El Cid and Edward. Genghis Khan, it was a great commander, but in today's meta, he's just a weak glass cannon who doesn't even have the opportunity to fire off 3 skills before dying. He's probably between B and C, but I think I'm gonna put him in the B tier as, I don't know, encouragement. Gilgamesh, great archer commander, one of the best archer rallies in the latest meta, but that's pretty much what he shines on. In open field, he's decent, but nothing too great. I think I'm gonna rate Gilgamesh in the A tier. Guan Yu. We don't even have to talk about this commander. No team can survive without Guan Yu's. He's the commander that everyone needs to have sooner or later. The silence on him is so precious that changes everything in open field. Ideally, you could even use Guan at 5-1, 5-5 without maxing him out. It's a bit difficult. If you want to know the exact odds, click the card up on the top. But I am going to put Guan Yu in the S+ tier. Hannibal Barca. I mean, man, just go and take your gifted C tier. Even if he's decent and usable in the early KVKs, with how fast the KVKs are now, only the big spenders will be able to level up to VIP 14 and max him out. Or who migrates back to KVK 2. So, thanks but no thanks. Harald, excellent commander in multiple pairings, in rally with Pakal, in open field with both Pakal or Alex, or even CJ and Guan Yu, most definitely an S tier commander. It's very painful to swarm Harald because of all the counterattack he has. Honda Tadakatsu, we have made many videos about this commander. He's not a meta changer, but definitely a super solid commander for the open field. I think I'm gonna put Honda in the A tier. Ishida, we already know well the story, gathering commander, Charlemagne tier. Jadwiga, she's a garrison commander, that's it, but a great one. I don't feel like kicking Jadwiga back to the A tier because she's one of the best commander in what she does. Even if one single use should not make her worth of the S tier. For now, we'll put her in the S tier, and we'll see later if we need to change the position. Julius Caesar. I think he goes in the C tier with his buddies Hannibal Barca and Frederick I. I think nobody can say anything about that. Pakal, he's nothing without Harald or CJ. He's literally one of the best incomplete commanders in the game that needs something to match him like a piece of puzzle. So he's not very versatile, but I will put him on the A tier for how good he is in rally and open field when paired with Harold. If this were a tier list for rallying commanders, Pakal and Harold would be on the very top, but again, we are rating the commanders one by one here and not the specific combos. Leonidas. While Guan and Leo and Guan and CJ are both a top-notch choice, I believe that Leo has a more restricted choice of pairings. That is why I think I'm gonna put Leonidas in the A tier, especially because the expertise skill is very, very strong. Lubu. I don't know why this commander exists, to be honest. We paid $20 to unlock him and that was a ripoff. Considering that they didn't give us any other way to gain his sculptures, it would have been great, for example, to get them in the campaign next to Edelflet. I felt somehow compelled to buy the bundle and unlock Lubu because I said, what if I can't unlock him anymore and he becomes meta or something and they will boost him in the future? And here we are months later wishing I never unlocked him. I will put him in the Charlemagne tier list just because he's the best definition of a ripoff and because you needed to pay to get him, which again was totally not worth the money. Mehmed II, he's probably a commander in between B and C tier only because you could potentially use him as secondary AoE commander or to rally city once you max him with the gold chests if you don't have a better choice. I think I will put him in the B tier, same as I did with Genghis Khan, just as a gesture of encouragement. Minamoto, aka Monemoto, great commander for the early KVKs, which no free-to-play will have access to, and we need to consider that, but definitely one of the best neutral units rally commanders. I think I will have him all in all in the B tier, because, I mean, we cannot throw him away. He's very good in the early KVKs, and we do need to consider that. Moctezuma, yeah buddy, go chill in the C tier. Mulan, very good supporter, definitely a B tier commander. Nebuchadnezzar, with YSG he makes for the most devastating AoE archer march, with 10 total targets per skill cycle. And he's great in rally as well. I think I'm gonna put Nebu in the S tier. Ragnar Lodbrok, I don't know if he managed to get a good usage window in the early KVKs, but I highly doubt. I'm gonna have him in the C tier next to Moctezuma. Ramses II, still today one of the top archer choices. You just cannot go wrong if you invest in Ramses. Ramses for me is an A tier commander. Richard I, surely amazing in the early KVKs to this day and a very good commander both in open field and garrison for that specific meta, and as much as we like to make fun of him, is quite useful. So B tier for Richard considering his overall usage for later KVKs, which goes down a lot. Otherwise, he would definitely be an A commander. Saladin, super strong, usable by free-to-play players with a lighter investment, like 5551, good versatility and can be used with many different commanders. I think he's between A and B, but we'll put him in the A tier. Seondeok, Gathering Commander, you already know it, Charlemagne tier. Suleiman I, he's another meme commander, but not as bad to deserve the Charlemagne tier. I'm still not sure about him, to be honest, because mostly nobody maxed Suleiman out. I think I'll put him in the C tier for now. So many better choices than this commander. Takeda, the pairings with him are very limited as he was born to be a secondary commander to Attila. Alone, he's not worth that much. I think I'm gonna place Takeda in the B tier. Theodora, as of today, still a top-notch choice for garrison and city defense. She's not that bad in open field either. It might sound surprising to many because of the circular area of damage, which she shares only with YSG, even if hers is a bit smaller. She's definitely between S and A tier, but for now I will have her in the S tier because how good she is in what she does. Tamiris, she's extremely good with slow skill cycle commanders, in particular Edward, Artemisia and Honda Tadakatsu, always as secondary commander. I think I'll have Tamiris in the B tier for now, because of the limited usage. Trajan, top-notch commander and every team needs a Trajan. The reports look so great and he's buffing so many other marches that he really needs to be considered an S tier commander, in my opinion. William I, he's great in what he does, AoE and buffing. He was also decent in the past as a rallying commander, but since XY was introduced, his time is pretty much over for rally leading. I think I'll have William I in the A tier. Wu Zetian is a great garrison of the past. I guess she's still useful in the later realms for the Osiris League. Probably many teams should be using, I don't know if they are, but probably they are, a combo of like Saladin and Wu Zetian as secondary commander. I think I'm gonna put her on the B tier. XY, Zhang Yu. No team can survive without XY. Many think he's a glass cannon, but just because he must be targeted early on, otherwise he's dealing you too much damage. AoE, debuffing, speed is also usable from 5551, so it makes for a good choice for free-to-play and low spenders. And he's also one of the strongest rally leader in the game when paired with Chandragupta. I think XY makes up for the S+ tier without any doubt. YSG. I mean, what are we talking about here? The single most versatile commander in the game. Can be used for everything, from city garrison to open field, rally and garrison objectives in the early KVKs, barbarian chaining. I think YSG is the only all-in commander that everyone should max as first pick. For me, S+ tier, no questions. YSS, the best choice as secondary garrison commander, even better than Theodora for objectives when you start throwing mixed troops in your garrison. So if Theodora was between S tier and A tier, YSS is most definitely an S tier commander. I think I'm gonna move Theodora back to the A tier. Yeah, just because her usage is more limited compared to YSS. Zenobia, absolutely S tier. I think I have no doubt about it. She's still devastating and recognized as one of the best garrison commanders in the game, and if you don't know what to pick and you are being rallied with multiple different commanders, she's like a universal choice. Maybe she won't give you the best trades for every situation out there, and sometimes you should switch to Jadwiga and Amanitori, but she's solid as a rock. S tier. We are now left with the last two legendary commanders announced, Nevsky and our friend Bert, which haven't been released yet in the game, and when they will, we'll still need to see how they perform. I will of course update this tier list when the commanders will be released and also publish my usual testing videos. And yeah guys, this is the final tier list for every legendary commander in Rise of Kingdoms as of January 2022. If you have some different ideas, make sure to post them in the comment section down below. Thank you for tuning in, please remember to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao!